Hello, welcome to our podcast. My name is Sergio Aguilar, and to start, we'll introduce ourselves.
Hi, my name is Bárbara Müller.
Hi, my name is Fernanda Poblete.
Hi, my name is Emily Gonzalez. Our object at Mincio today are to explain what our project is all about.
Today we explaining our project you should con what is the ONU.
Fernanda, the UN is an international organization founded in 1945 after World War II. The 91 countries committed to maintaining international peace and security.
At present, the UN is organization to 193 nations below, and Chile is among these. The show is hold much involved in the arts since World War II.
Within the UN, we can find the Sustainable Development Goals. These were created in September 2015 to eradicate poverty, protect the planet, and ensure prosperity for all living beings on the earth.
What my college medium is unquart. Since in times of objectives have specific goals, which are to be achieved in a maximum of 15 years. By 2030, these objectives should be fully met.
The SDGs created by the UN must be met by governments, separate sector, civil society, and people like us. We have to make it known that these CDs created by the UN are 17, ranging from health, economic, ecosystem life, industries, etc. And in today's session, we have to carry out 14. Emily explains to us more about this goal.
As mentioned by my colleague, where we present CDG number 14, what as its slogan on the word of life, as mentioned on the office on website, regardless of the current pandemic situation, what must keep in the mind that the conservation of the ocean must continue to be priority.
That's right, Emily. That's why we must look for long-term strategies and solutions that will help our health as a whole, not only as humans, but also as the ecosystem. We must keep in mind that our health as a species depends on the health of the planet. It is also very important to highlight that the ocean belongs to 3/4 of the Earth's surface.
This is too much.
That's right.
I was reviewing the ONU page on SDG14 and it gave us the information that the ocean contains 97% of the planet water, and thanks to the high percent, the sea as 99% of the habitable surface of planet Earth. This is very impressive, given that deposit a large number of countries and their territories only represent 1% of habitable surface for terrestrial and aerial beings. We are nothing compared to the large size of the ocean.
That is why we have to keep in mind that the world oceans, temperature, chemical composition, current, and life are the engine of the global system that make the Earth a habitat place for human beings.
What Sergio mentioned is very important, given that there are more than 7 billion people in the world today, and more than 3 billion of the uses the ocean the antibiotic as source of sustainability for the life. That is why the managed by vital resources is fundamental for humanity and conserve climate change.
So that our listeners can understand the magnitude of the ocean, we can say that around 200,000 species have been studied and identified within still. But it is estimated that the actual number could be in the millions because of this tremendous underwater diversity. The ocean is more than just water, and therefore it is imperative to take care of it.
It is crucial what my colleagues say because the ocean is also an important source of income for a country, so it contributes significantly to the economic development of nations as it is estimated that only the fishing industry alone moves about $3 billion a year.
I believe that one of the most critical functions of the ocean and why we should take care of it is that it absorbs about 30% of the CO2 produced by humans and is of vital importance to cushion the global warming that affects us too much today. While trees are important for this tax, the ocean also plays an important role.
It is because of the important function of the ocean that is beloved to show his acid race and the sixth industrial revolution is had incredibly by 26% that a lot of the planet. As the ocean is dry revolution, the impacts of the industrial that have been quickened have since 1716.
A not minor problem that we should emphasize is that the ocean is showing an increase in eutrophication, and our listeners may ask, what is that? Well, this means that the levels of inorganic nutrients such as phosphorus and nitrogen in the ocean are increasing as a result of all the factors mentioned above by my colleagues. And why is this a problem? Could you explain it to us, Fernanda, please?
Of course, the big problem is that many algae use these inorganic elements to grow and reproduce, causing an excessive proliferation of these algae, forming a thick layer on the surface of the ocean, making the pH of slowing to the nearest depth of the same possible, making aquatic life very difficult.
And it is common knowledge that sunlight is involved in the process of photosynthesis, so if we prevent its passage, we affect the primary products in the deep ocean and thus the trophic chain of flora and fauna of the sea, generation and impact on our marine life.
The marine environment is also home to species varied of the beautiful creatures. Random forcing the sea organisms to the rising animal lives on here. The blue whale, it is also home to coral reef, one of the most beautiful bird ecosystems on the planet.
It seems like something worth protecting. So, what is the problem? The ever increasing levels of debris in the oceans are having a significant environment and economic impact. Marine debris affects biodiversity because organisms can become entangled in the debris or ingest it, killing them or making it impossible for them to reproduce.
Regarding coral reefs, 20% of coral reefs have been destroyed and there is no prospect of recovery, approximately 24%. Of the remaining reefs are in imminent danger of disappearance due to human pressures, and 26% are at risk of disappearance in the longer term.
If we contextualize it to our country, one of the biggest problems facing fishing activity in Chile is the use of fishing gear that is highly destructive due to marine environment. The most dangerous being trailing which use nets up to 2 kilometers long, equipped with heavy height chains and hooks that pierce the seabed and destroy coral reefs, sponge, and other marine invertebrates.
Well, but what do you do to prevent everything we mentioning from happening?
The UN has generated a certain number of goals, which must be met to the letter if we want to achieve them by 2030. There are only 9 years left.
And in this because of time that it is imperative to comply with Team Summit of Team Are 1 by 2025. We want to prevent and reduce marine pollution of all kinds. This includes oil pollution and the microtrash produced by ordinary citizens, since it is made piece of chocolate paper would in the future. It will be part of the south-faded fresh island.
2. To sustainably manage and protect marine ecosystem, this implies adopting measures that involve the restoration of the ecosystem, both its health and productivity, which is why the release of this ecosystem must be simulated and strengthened. Although this goal was established for 2020, it has been slowed down due to the current pandemic context.
3. Minimize the effect of the ocean accident. With this process, we work to invalidate since it can help to avoid this process. Since the direct is ocean, pH direct related to demerit of score, thus to relative value the CO2 absorbed for the inversion and the column curves that force the core. If the relation is not stopped or solved up, the acidity of the ocean could be compromised along with this ecosystem.
4. To conserve at least 10% of the coastal and marine areas. This conservation is intended to be carried out in compliance with the laws of each country and international legislation with the help of updated and accurate scientific information.
5. Effectively regulate fishing exploitation. Put an end to overfishing and illegal fishing because we want to conserve 10% of the coastal and marine areas. We have seen the need to generate new policies that respond to such protection. I be updated and accurate scientific information to conserve as much aquatic biodiversity as possible.
6. Prohibit certain forms of fishing subsides that contribute to overcapacity and overfishing. This sought to close difference and specialist treatment between the fisheries of least developed and developed countries and terribly eradicate overfish and illegal fishing that is now regulated and or regulated.
7. By 2003, increase the economic benefit that small island, Bepoli, Sleep, and Leife Bepoli cross debris for sustainability of marine resources. The is to enlist less people course to take away of the ocean potential for tourism and economic activities through regulation finish.
8. Increase scientific knowledge, develop research capacity, and transfer marine technology. The purpose of this is for science and technology to aid the health of the ocean and its biodiversity and contribute to the point mentioned above.
9. Facilitate artisanal fishermen access to marine resources and markets. This allows small companies and independent individuals to have access to the ocean and large companies, equalizing the habitats' work opportunities.
10. Improve the conservation and sustainable use of the ocean and their resources by applying international law as reflected in the United Nations Convention on the Sea Law. The above aims to use international agreements to enforce the conservation and sustainable use of the ocean.
Did you know anything about the SDGs?
I knew about the SDGs because they have a list of goals to achieve.
Exactly, Sergio. Achieving the CDG strike cooperated a better quality of life.
The SDG prioritizes the needs of the planet and humanity to improve the well-being of all.
Were you aware of any of the SDG targets for underwater life?
I was not aware of any of these goals as it was not sufficiently informed.
Do you know that in addition to CDG and stalking, there are communication chains with the often on website that is to kids ordinary city in marking and shape towards the 70 sustainable goals.
That's true. We can find ways in which we can consult about how to make the change technological, friendly and interactive tools that can be useful when we want to change for the world and the oceans.
Finally, we can conclude that all the CDs and their targets are essentially necessary to improve our quality of life and everything else.
With this conclusion, we say goodbye and thank you for tuning in.
Goodbye.
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 ¡Sí, qué gran onda, chiqui! Dame salita. Choque. Suave.